After one of the craziest weeks off in one-up racing history, the Superstar Series rolls on to Atlanta Motor Speedway for 82 laps of high-intensity pack racing that you can only get here in Hampton, Georgia. This 1.5-mile oval is going to test every aspect of a driver's capabilities, and a win here today would be a big boost for a lot of teams who are off to a slow start this season. And alongside me to break it all down with you here today is James Ellison once again, and this is a bit of an unknown territory. We've been to Atlanta before since it's been reconfigured. This place is a whole new beast for these 42 drivers to navigate.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a real interesting, potentially even exciting race. And hopefully it's not a dangerous one, because they're going to be fighting like crazy, I'm sure.
For every position, for every bit of real estate on this racetrack, it's going to be an absolute thrill ride for everyone involved. As we can now give you the full starting lineup for today's 82-lap race, Bobo Jones gets his first pole of the season. Alongside him, Cale Tescar Jr., who had a bit of a rough ride at Las Vegas. Polanski lines up third, ahead of points leader Sam Donotto in fourth, and Dylan Young rounds out the top five. Donotto and Young, by the way, looking to get top 10 finishes. If they get top 10 finishes today, they'll have gotten them in all four races so far. That model of consistency is going to be an absolute boon for these guys. They're going to need it come the playoff time.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, you talk about Dylan Young, he is having a strong start to the season, which is exactly what you want, no matter how little or how much experience you have, because you get a strong start on the season, and you can keep riding that momentum. No matter where you end up in the championship battle, come checkered flag in the final race of the season, you are going to be having a good time.
So with that being said, we have 42 drivers ready to take the green flag for 82 exhilarating laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are ready to bring you the action. There's a lot's changed in the One-Up Superstar Series since we were last with you at Las Vegas, but so much has also stayed the same. Just like it is every other week, we go racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is the One-Up Superstar Series from Atlanta, and the green flag is going to fly mere moments from now. Heading into the restart zone to get 82 laps at Atlanta started, Bobo Jones and Cale Tescar Jr. on the front row. The green flag is out, and we're underway. Tescar gets the better launch off the line. He's ahead of the 7 as they go into turn 1. That outside line is going to be a huge benefit later on in this race, but it's the inside that should get the initial launch on the first start.
Yeah, you're right, and there you see it. Bobo Jones there. He is making moves to get forward. He's got a little bit of help there from Polanski, but of course we know Polanski ain't going to want to stay back there.
No, he'll want to either help his teammate Tescar on the top of the racetrack, or he'll want to take the lead himself. Remember, Polanski won this race last year, so he knows how to get it done on the high banks of Atlanta. As Bobo Jones leads his first lap of the season, he's out in front at the end of lap 1, ahead of side-by-side at least 20 rows deep behind him. This is incredible racing right here.
Yeah, now he's falling back. Polanski, like you said, he wants to defend this, and you and I both know, as does anyone else who's been watching the first few races of the season, he's not exactly had the best start, and he really needs something.
Absolutely. As Polanski now comes off of turn 4 with a push from Dylan Young in the 29, Polanski leads lap number 2. That's something we haven't seen all weekend long, is a lead change. It's a fantastic thing to see in one-up racing, to see you battling for the lead this good, as Dylan Young makes a push for the lead once again.
Yeah, and this is the kind of racing we're going to see throughout the whole race, I think, especially since we've had lead changes already. And oh boy, that's not looking good there. McDonald trying to go 3 wide and holding on, well, thinking better of it now.
Yeah, he tucks back in line behind Roberto Crown Jr. as Dylan Young forges out to the lead, become our third different leader in the first 3 laps. This is some great stuff here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's like a mini Daytona now, and it's fantastic. But right now, Roberto Crown Jr. making a move on the inside. Polanski gets Bobo Jones stuck in the middle. They're 3 wide for second off of turn 4. They almost make contact, but they don't. Dylan Young continues to lead.
And that's exactly what he wants to see, but it's not going to stay that way. If these guys get sorted out And oh boy, here we go.
Oh, Polanski up into the wall.
Oh,
That you're gonna see that quite often here. Is drivers getting up way too high on the racetrack and up into the wall, and they're 4 wide going into turn 3 fair onto the apron.
and he had to check up big time, and that's going to cost him dearly. And you see it now; he's just dropping like a rock. I can't help but wonder if maybe he's just having to take a minute, take a breath, and he's just backing off so he doesn't get caught up in something.
Yeah, oh, and he almost made contact there with Cam Cole in the 27. I think there was a little contact there. But now you see Devin Fair's gone from the top 10 in this race all the way back to last place. And you can see the field strung out now, single file as a result of that. Bobo Jones holds the lead, and Devin Fair is in danger of losing the draft. We're only on lap 6, and Devin Fair's race could be in jeopardy right here.
Can't help but wonder if maybe there was some contact that you and I may have missed, or something else happened in the middle of all that caused him to be down this far. But well, who knows? We saw how the racing was last year. If it ends up being the same thing this year, we could see him have a chance to rebound.
But right now it is Bobo Jones that holds the lead of the race, coming to complete lap number 7. Young and McDonald side by side for second. Young prevails at the line in that battle, but it is Jones who leads the way in that number 7. Remember, he hasn't won on a super speedway before, all the way back in 2020 at Daytona, but it has been quite some time since Bobo Jones went to victory lane. His last win came later that year at Bristol. He really is riding a long winless drought. Wouldn't he love to break it here today?
Yes, he would. And I see someone else here who's like has something to say there. The 07, Aaron Hall, he's coming up into the mix.
Yeah, Bobo Jones is doing a great job holding on, but Aaron Hall in that 07 car making a good run at it, and he's getting a push from his teammate, Sam Donato, in the 77. Donato, remember, the Auto Club winner, stealing the win from Roberto Crown Jr. on the final lap of the race out in California. But Donato is your current points leader, and you can see Devin Fair is already half a straightaway behind the 41st place car, Nate Champion, making his first start of the season in that 69 car.
Yeah, this is not good for Fair. He did not want to see this happen, and he can only hope for what would be a good chance at a caution, even if it's just for a spin.
He's going to need a caution to get back into this race, otherwise his hopes of winning or even a decent finish will be down the drain in a hurry. But Aaron Hall's making some moves on that inside line. We didn't see the inside play much of a factor in the truck race here, but it's playing a decent factor here today as Hall now makes a move under Ben McDonald for second. The problem is Donato's a car length or two behind him, and he can't get any momentum going.
Yeah, but that 07 is strong. And now starting to slip back to the 77, and maybe this could be giving them the chance of the run they need unless McDonald does what I think. Yeah, there he goes.
Yep, McDonald's not wasting any time making a move to get to the lead. Ben McDonald, he's seen his teammate win 2 of the first 3 races, and he wants a turn himself at the front of the field. McDonald now forges ahead of Bobo Jones in the black and red number 12 with a push from Aaron Hall. And these two have raced together before, of course, but not in the Superstar Series and not on the high banks of Atlanta. So these guys are feeling each other out, getting a feel for how they work together in the draft, and that inside lane is 5 cars strong, but there's more of an advantage on the top for sure.
Oh, definitely, because Jones is able to hang on up there up high, but seems the high side seems to check up just a little bit. Then again, they all have at one time or another so far as McDonald clears to the lead.
McDonald almost clear the lead. Oh, and Jones goes really high. That's going to allow McDonald to clear. And they're 3 wide now for second. Roberto Crown Jr. sticking his nose in. And Donato fought for just a second to make it 4 wide. He thinks better of it. Tucks back in behind his teammate. But now Roberto Crown Jr. is in no man's land in the middle of the racetrack. He's surprisingly holding his own fairly well up there. Maybe if he can squeeze in between the 12 and the 7, he'll have a chance.
Boy.
Oh, man, this is intense racing action. The pack's all caught up once again after the Devin Fair incident. And, man, these guys are putting on a show for the Atlanta fans.
Yeah, it seemed like... I know there's going to be some groans for this, but it seemed like Bobo had a monster of a moment there.
Yeah, and here comes Roberto Crown Jr. going for the lead on Ben McDonald. This Crown is overdue for a win anyway, and I'm sure he'd love to redeem that disaster at Auto Club for a time in the sun here at Atlanta. But there's still a lot of racing to go in this race still, and anything can still happen. But Crown holds the lead in the Silver 81. We'll see if he can keep it the rest of the way.
Yeah, Crown, man, still can't. I'm not sure he's entirely over that heartbreak from getting the win taken from him. But yeah, he had a good run of it last year, if I recall correctly. And if he can keep that up again, maybe just maybe he can finally get that monkey off his back.
Absolutely, and look at this pack. They're streaming down the back straightaway at speeds of almost 190 miles an hour. Fantastic racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. But it is Roberto Crown Jr. holding the lead for now, and he's got a fairly comfortable lead over McDonald and Jones, who has their respective lanes right now. But at this point in time, I would not give the advantage to anybody because there's still plenty of racing left, and there could be a whole new cast of characters up at the front by the time this race is over.
Oh, absolutely. But right now, it seems like some of the same people who started in the top 10 are right up there right now. You know, looking at 10th place there, the 13 of Chris Lattimore. He started there, and he's hanging in there right around that spot, doing good.
Yeah, good job for Chris Lattimore, a rookie in this series, doesn't have a lot of superstar experience. This is his third career start. Missed a Daytona 500, of course, but this 13 car is putting on a good job, just hanging onto a spot inside the top 10. That would be a great day for that 13 team, because they need a lot of points in a big hurry if they're going to be locked in after Monza next time out. But right now at the front, it is Roberto Crown Jr. facing pressure from Bobo Jones on the inside lane.
Yeah, Bobo wants that lead back. He liked it, wanted to keep it, but he doesn't really have any help right now unless McDonald comes down.
Yeah, but McDonald's going to try and give a push to the 7. He's working hard on it. Getting to the inside of the 81. They're side by side for the lead entering turn 3. Bobo Jones with the advantage with Ben McDonald and William Brock pushing as well in the 93 car. This is going to be an easy pass for Bobo Jones, and he takes the lead on lap 19.
Yeah, and I was noticing Brock creeping up in here, but now I'm not entirely surprised to see him in the top 5 right now as they're starting to scatter a little bit behind the top 5.
Yeah, right now we've got a lot of names in the top 10 that are very interesting to look out for. And here's one, Anderson Reed in this new 5 car. One of the big changes over the week was that Sinclair Canada Racing shut down after a long tenure. Now he's with Vladion Autosport, who's taken the plunge into superstar racing, and he's not afraid to get his elbows out. He banged wheels with Aaron Hall, and now he's slotting in right behind his new team owner, Cale Tescar Jr. A fantastic run for a first race.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I think. That's exactly what Cale wanted to see. It was one of his new cars doing well, not only doing well, but doing well right behind him in the top 10. This has got to make him a happy team owner right now.
Yeah, and he'll especially like it if Reed can help him get to the lead. But for right now, they are currently 6th and 7th at the moment. We'll see if they can get any momentum going. They'll have to get around McDonald and a few others. But Chris Lattimore, you were right. This 13's doing a very solid job. He fell out of the top 10 briefly, but he's still hanging in there right just outside of it. And who knows, now that Eric Monaco's gone down to the inside, we'll see if the 13 can make some more gains. Now he's right behind Anderson Reed.
Yeah, and I've noticed another player in the game coming into the picture just a little bit. He didn't start too far back from where he's at now. Justin Hutchins back there, and Finn guy, as always, coming up in the picture. He never misses an opportunity.
Yeah, these cars are just... It's amazing how they stick together in this pack so nicely. No one's really fallen out of it except for Devin Fair, who has his own issues. But Bobo Jones, when we're looking at Devin Fair right now, he's well off the pace at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if they come up to lap him fairly shortly. But Bobo Jones, this is the best performance we've seen out of him in quite a long time. He's been kind of in the shadows lately, but he's here to prove he's still one of the best drivers we have.
Yeah, he wants to remind people that, like, hey, don't forget about me. It's a great thing to see the performance that's being put on right now.
Yeah, but he's doing what we all know he can do. It's just a matter of sealing the deal, closing it out, finishing an entire race. Because it's fine to lead now, and he's gonna rack up a lot of bonus points by doing this. But he's got to be up at the front by the end of lap 82. That's when they pay the big points out. But he's got a lot of hungry challengers behind him in Young, Hall, Tescar, a bunch of rookies and second-year drivers giving it everything to try and get past the veteran up front.
And that's easier said than done right now as they spread out a little bit. And Hall back in the picture up here with Young as they're fighting side by side, which, Jones, he's loving that.
Yeah, and the longer they're side by side, the longer he can stay out in front because it's less of a challenge to defend two lanes than it is one with a lot of momentum. As Jones actually starts to stretch his legs out in front. This is a little bit of it. It's good to see cars being able to pull away a little bit from the pack. Not so much that it becomes boring, but enough to where you can clearly see who the dominant car is. And right now, that's the 7 of Bobo Jones, while Emma Carter in the midfield holds the fastest lap currently at lap 27.
Yeah, might have the fastest lap, but she's got a lot of work to do to get up to the front where all the action is going on right now.
Yeah, Bobo Jones, I'm getting him confused with Patrick Smith quite a bit. They run the same paint scheme, and Jones ran the 04 last year, which Patrick Smith now runs this year. It's going to be a while before I get it right. But Bobo Jones is the one out in front right now for Monster Motorsports, and they have been talking about a manufacturer change if things don't go their way soon. So far, they're going fantastically for the 7 car. Holds the lead at lap 28, a very solid run here.
Yes, and you talk about the manufacturer change. Well, I would say a win might put those talks, at least for a little while, to rest. And I don't know, there might be a bit of a jeopardy here for a win if Aaron Hall has anything to say about it.
Yeah, but Aaron Hall's making a push for the lead here already, and he's doing a fantastic job holding on. But I think Bobo Jones has more help on the top of the racetrack. He's got Dylan Young at a reasonable distance. Hall's closest front runner is Sam Denoto right behind him. Well, not right behind him. He's a couple car lengths back, and now Cale Tescar Jr. is dropping in. So we've got 3 Toyotas, a Dodge, and a Ford contesting the lead right now. The first Chevrolet, Ben McDonald, in 7th. But so far, it's been the 7 car out in command of this race, with the 07 not far behind. These guys are just all looking for some prime real estate, because Sam Denoto is looking for a great day in the points as it runs right now. Man, what a day this could be for Dylan Young and for Sam Denoto, really, to extend their gap at the top of the table.
Yeah, that's all they want. Another win for Denoto wouldn't hurt, and one for Young would definitely help him. But it's all about points right now. Wins are just the icing on the cake for those two.
Yeah, now they're in a very solid position up the front, but who knows at this stage of the race what can happen from now to the end of the checkered flag. As right now, Bobo Jones is continuing to dominate. He hasn't had a good start to the season, but this has been a great race for Bobo Jones, and he might be starting to come under pressure from Dylan Young, and now Sam Denoto goes to the inside of the racetrack. This could be the move right here for second place. We'll see if it sticks down in the turn 3 and 4. This is going to be a big move from the 77, right, coming through 3 and 4 right here. The 77 of Sam Denoto is close, and he might just clear right here.
Not quite clear, but he'll be credited with a position this lap as he's now setting his sights on that 7 up top.
And Denoto's trying to edge out ahead of Bobo Jones. This is going to be a very interesting fight. Down the back straightaway they go. Denoto now gets a push from Tescar on the inside. This is going to be an interesting fight to see who's going to stay up out of this lead here. Man, I'm stumbling over my words because this racing has just been absolutely electric. Bobo Jones has held the lead for the majority of the day, but he hasn't had a shortage of challengers behind him either.
Oh no, it's been cycling. Dylan Young, Aaron Hall, Sam Denoto, Ben McDonald, even Roberto Crown Jr. back there, and it's just he's holding off on all challengers at this point. But there's only so much he can do, especially if another car rises to the top near the end.
Absolutely. It's not over till it's over for Bobo Jones, but he continues to lead. Dylan Young right behind him, though. This could be a good day for the 29. As things run right now, he would remain second in the points to Sam Donotto, who currently runs right behind him in third. Those two have been the model of consistency so far. The 29 and the 77 going into turn 3 for the 35th time in this race. We'll see who can hold on to it. As the 77 has lost the engine. We were just talking about him. Our championship leader, Sam Donotto, running for the lead of this race, now out of this race on lap 36. That's going to cost him the championship lead right there.
I feel like we cursed him, man. That commentator's curse. We did it. There you go, guys. That's unfortunate. He was doing so well.
Well, if there's one thing to come out of that, that means Devin Fair no longer gets last place. But at the front of the field, Bobo Jones now has Dylan Young behind him. And at this pit stage of the race, with Sam Donotto out, Dylan Young would be the championship leader as a rookie. That is incredible for this 29 team. I'm at a loss for words. This is just a great showing from Dylan Young, but he's still got just about half this race to go. Don't let your guard down yet.
Yeah, definitely. You might have a gap to that 81 of Crown behind him, but there's still a lot of racing left.
Yeah, and we're closing in on half distance, but even then, there's still a lot of racing to go. As we're looking back now through the rest of the field, Nick Ortiz making his way up from the midfield up towards the top 10. He's currently running 13th, battling with Emma Carter for the 12th spot, as Hutchinson moves on Polanski for 9th. And after the strong run Ortiz had at Las Vegas, this is going to be a great way to back it up with a good showing at Atlanta, boost himself up the ladder even more. But back at the front, Ben McDonald makes a move on Roberto Crone Jr. for 3rd, and he's going to take it going into 1.
And try to bring Aaron Hall with him. Maybe, just maybe, Anderson Reed as well. This is an outstanding performance for that 5 car.
Yeah, and for a first-time team like Gladion Autosport, this is an incredible outing. Sure, their other car, Stephen Gale, in the 2 is having a bit of a struggle. Anderson Reed's being quite the highlight for these guys. Gale runs 32nd, but Anderson Reed, man, he's fighting for a spot in the top 5 as they run right now.
Yeah, that's definitely a good deal. And here we see Fair just lone man just rolling along as the leaders are closing in on him at some point.
Yeah, Bobo Jones needs to hang on to this lead here, because Dylan Young is right. You can't see anything else if you look in the mirror of that 7 car. You see nothing but a blue Ford right behind you. That 29 is right there, ready to capitalize. We're coming to the halfway lap this time, and as Anderson Reed makes his way into the top 5, this could get very interesting as pit stops also start to approach.
Yep, and right now, that 12, Ben McDonald, he's sniffing a draft of the top 2, and he's saying, "Hold on, boys, I'm coming. This battle's not done yet."
Yeah, but this is going to be a very interesting battle from here to the checkered flag. And we've got exactly what we want. We've got a Dodge, a Ford, a Chevy, and a Toyota in the top 4. Perfect for one-up racing standards. As the Toyota swoops past the Chevrolet on the top of the racetrack, Crown moves back up to 3rd. But it's been Bobo Jones in command of this race so far. We're halfway through it. Oh, and Reed almost gets turned by Aaron Hall. They somehow save it.
What a save by Anderson Reed there, and look who's in 7th right now. That is really good for that 13.
Yeah, Chris Lattimore, I'd give him the nod for drive of the race. Him and Anderson Reed have done fantastic, both for new teams, and are both currently 6th and 8th at the moment. Great job for each one of those teams. But I'd also have to give a nod to this 7 car, who's just been out in command of this race from the beginning. Ever since that incident, the 4-wide incident with Devin Fair, Bobo Jones has been in steady command. We're closing in on pit stops within the next 10 laps or so.
Yeah, that could shuffle things up real big. We've seen it already as Crown makes a peek on Young, but can't do anything with it.
Oh, and McDonald almost got into the wall there off of 2. He's going to lose a little bit of time to Aaron Hall, but Bobo Jones, he's extending his lead. That's got to be a good thing, because even if he's getting out there with no help, the 29 also has no help, so that's just a benefit. They're coming up to lap Devin Fair here, and that could throw a wrench into everybody's plans.
Yeah, Fair up there, he's being told by the spotters, leads are starting to close in on you, and that is not what he wants to hear. And these drivers do not want to hear that they're closing in on a lap car, because, like you said, that could really throw a wrench into things.
Yeah, it could hold up a lane. It could prevent guys from getting around each other, or it could promote guys getting around each other. It's a matter of time before we find out, because Devin Fair is a solid half-second a lap slower than these guys in front of him, or behind him now. In front of him as far as position goes, but otherwise not so much. But Bobo Jones holds a steady lead. He's got a couple tenths, a couple car lengths over Dylan Young, who's been in second for much of this race. A fantastic run. He's going to be the points leader after this race if he can finish right around there. And he's outrunning his veteran teammate, Jeffrey Thin Guy. That is as impressive as anything else. See this rookie outshining the veteran in the same equipment.
That is a very impressive thing, and yeah, I'm definitely rooting for him to do well here and keep doing well, because he's got plenty of chances, and a little bit of a shuffle toward the back of the top 10 here. But most of these drivers have been the same since, 20 laps or so ago?
But here comes Chris Lattimore on an absolute tear. He's got pushing help from Aaron Hall, and he's going to try and work his way past McDonald. Lattimore's already in the top 5. We could see him try and get even further up there, but he loses out to Cale Tesgar Jr., who falls back just a little bit. These guys are starting to get antsy. Might be time to pit soon.
Yeah, some of them I think might be organizing to get ready to pit. Others just want to jockey for every position they get before pit stops, and it's getting dicey back here, even if the top 2 have pulled away.
That they have. They've gotten about a second clear of third place Ben McDonald. So at this stage of the race, I think it might come down to Bobo Jones and Dylan Young, unless the pit stops shake up the order in quite a way, which it very well could. We've seen it happen before, and it surely could happen again. But the question is, will they catch Devin Fair before or after they come into the pits? Because if they catch him before, what I might do, the second I catch Devin Fair, that's when I pull in the pit.
That would be the smart thing to do, as we see right here. Emma Carter, Nick Ortiz have started to come to the mix, and of course, there's the champion right there just outside the top 10. He's been lurking back there this whole time.
Here they come. Christian Vargas. You mentioned him a moment ago. He's slowly creeping his way towards the front of the field, while his teammates having a bit of a rough go at it. Vargas is carrying the banner for that organization currently. And how about Emma Carter making her way close to the top 10 as well in that 70 car to join her teammate Aaron Hall, as their other teammate Sam Donato is the only retiree from this race so far.
And while he's a bit upset about how things have gone with his race, I'm sure he'll want to cheer on his teammates and hope to be able to have some kind of redemption, even if it's just through his teammates.
But we now have 31 laps to go from Atlanta, and I'm stumbling over my words once again. Bobo Jones holds the lead over Dylan Young. They are way ahead of anybody else, but they're coming up to lap Devin Fair. This could be a big one, a big moment right here, because McDonald and the rest could close in if they start to get held up for very long.
Yeah, I don't know if Fair is going to want to get in the way, or if he's going to get out of the way. We're about to find out.
I'd think he'd try and get out of the way, but at the same time, he also wants to stay on the lead lap and hope for a caution flag maybe during the pit cycle. That's also happened before. It's happened here at Atlanta, as a matter of fact. But what Bobo Jones might be trying to do, he might be just content to ride behind the 51 for a while, conserve a bit of fuel, go a little bit longer than everybody else, because the tire fall off here is not that high.
And Yeah, he may not be trying to do so much of what you were saying as we thought, but he might be getting ready to pit here. Who knows?
Yeah, well, he was certainly on the bottom of the racetrack. That allowed Dylan Young to close right up to the back of the 7. He dives it off into turn 3. Dylan Young doing a lot to try and snatch the lead from Bobo Jones, and finally we have another lead change in this race. It is the 29 of Dylan Young out in the lead here at Atlanta with just under 30 to go.
I'm sure that he's going to be thinking fair for that opportunity because I think Bobo tried to go underneath the 51 and just had to check up, and that allowed the 29 to catch up and pass.
Certainly going to be an interesting debrief after the race, that's for sure. But here comes Jones on a comeback charge. He wants the lead back, and he wants it back right now. And I think he's got the car to do it as well, because they come off turn 4 right here, and Jones is going to almost clear the 29 once again.
Yep, and of course, these two getting side by side, that's bringing McDonald and Crown back into the picture, and Lattimore back in the top 5 once again.
An incredible, it cannot be stated enough, an incredible run for the 13 team of Chris Lattimore. The rookie of the race so far, as a matter of fact, since he's got ahead of Aaron Hall. But now Bobo Jones starting to fall back a little bit. He lost the lead to Dylan Young. Now he's losing second to Ben McDonald. Could this not be a long run car, or could it just not handle well in traffic?
It might be just the traffic. We've seen things like this before, where a car will be great in clean air, but as soon as 1 or 2 cars pass them, it just starts doing all kinds of funny things.
That certainly could be one thing about it, but right now, Bobo Jones is on the final step of the podium. He wants to get back on that top step. It has been a very long time since Bobo Jones has been the victory lane, whereas for Dylan Young, he's never won in the Superstar Series. Could that change here this afternoon? We're about 25 laps from finding out. As Jones again goes to the bottom, he's going to lose another spot, this time to Roberto Crown Jr.
Seems like the bottom isn't exactly working, and don't look now, but he's got another rookie going after him.
That being Chris Lattimore. So Bobo Jones is having a bit of a rough time in traffic. Hopefully he can get out in some clear air and start pumping in some solid laps after his pit stop. I'm surprised they've been able to make it this far, honestly, on a single tank of fuel. The tires are fine. It's just a matter of if the fuel can last as long as it has. But oh, and you see in the background Aaron Hall got up against the wall. You're going to see that quite often here at Atlanta. But it looks like we're going to have our first few takers on the pit road. This time it's Dylan Young and Roberto Crown Jr. peeling off.
Yeah, there comes Nick Ortiz along with them, William Brock, and a few others a little further back. And most everybody else is staying off on the track at the moment. So who knows how long some of these will try to make it.
Yeah, I have a feeling Bobo Jones is going to be one of the next ones in, because he's struggling out there right now. We'll see how he handles this. Actually, it looks like he's going to stay out of an extra lap. A little surprising. But I think he's just trying to suck the draft of this 12 car and the 51 to try and get a little extra mileage out of this. You never know what that could do for you.
Yeah, honestly, I got to say, give big props to Devin Fair. While he's having all these, he's still holding on to the lead lap at the moment, and that's definitely something he's looking forward to being able to say he finished on the lead lap if it's possible.
Yep, and here comes Bobo Jones into the pit, so he finally gives up the fight. Chris Lattimore peels off. Tescar, Vargas, they all come in the pit, and a few other cars that were in the lap before coming out. Anderson Reed peels out of the pits. This leaves Ben McDonald with a big lead over Polanski and Carter. We'll see if this strategy for McDonald will work out. He's been out there for quite a while. We'll see if he comes this time, as we now have 20 laps to go this time. He's not coming in this time.
That is kind of surprising. You mentioned Polanski they're still staying out too. Well, it looks like Polanski pit and Carter and Hall are now running their second and third, and here we go. We see some of the ones who pitted a lap or two ago coming out now.
Now, Ben McDonald's got to be hoping for a caution flag, because if that comes, he's going to trap everybody a lap down almost, and that has got to be what he's going for. But I think he's realized that he needs to come in for fuel. Here he comes into the pits this time.
Yep, he's finally waved the white flag of surrender. Not the white flag of the last lap, but just it seems like everybody else who hasn't pit yet is now finally making their way down.
Yep, and now here Chris Lattimore has actually gotten ahead of Dylan Young, so an impressive stop from the 13 team to get out ahead, and now he's clear of, gosh, several cars, and he might be even clear of Polanski as well. He is clear. Chris Lattimore could be in a great position here. We'll see where Ben McDonald cycles out, and here's some other cars like Carter and McDonald and them. We'll see what happens here. But I think this is going to be a great position for Chris Lattimore, regardless of the outcome. Here comes... Yeah, and he's also ahead of Bobo Jones. So Lattimore is in a great... Oh, and Jones tank slaps the wall.
Oh, and he's riding the wall, and he about takes out Ortiz in the process. Yikes.
I think Ben McDonald might be in the clear, though, because they're just now getting up to speed, and Lattimore is just now coming off of 4. I don't think they're going to catch him in time. And Devin Fair is still on the lead lap through all this. Good for him, honestly, salvaging something out of this race. But now, we've got a whole new cast of characters up at the front. It's McDonald and Carter fighting for the lead as we close in on 15 to go.
And then you saw it there. Lattimore's now third. I can't give this rookie enough credit because he is doing a whale of a job here.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and he's currently in 3rd place. That would be a great, great, great day for Team Juke as a whole. But there's still a lot of time left in this race. Anything can still happen. He is the lead rookie so far, but Aaron Hall's looking to change that, as is Dylan Young. 3 rookies in the top 5, I've just realized. That is an impressive feat.
And they would like to stay there. I'm pretty sure they'd all like to be the one hoisting that trophy and saying that they got their first win here today. But it's all a matter of timing as you see Carter closing in on McDonald.
Yeah, Carter could have something to say about this by the end of this race. Carter has been in the shadows much of this race, but she's doing a good job now catching up as Jones again flirts dangerously with that outside wall. Bobo Jones now falls back to 6th. This car is not what it was at the beginning of this race.
Yeah, it's fallen off bad, and it's already had a one roll ride, and is now Young goes a little close to the wall, but is keeping it stable. But yeah, that 7 is definitely getting a little beat up from those wall rides.
And it looks like we're going back for the field because I think I saw one car stuck on the pit lane for a while. Oh, and it's the 38 of Jeff Bolton who's got some sort of issue that's keeping him stuck in the pit lane for an extended period. And this is just yet another hard luck story for this 38 team. They have great speed. They run where they should, and then something like this happens. It's an absolute disappointment for that 38 team. Something's got to go right for them eventually, right?
Well, one would hope, but we'll have to wait and see. And sorry, Jeff, but I'm not trying. I'm trying to be a bit of a realist here, as that on the bright side, that does give Devin Fair another position back.
That it does. He moves up to 40th now in this race. I'm sure it'll be of no consolation to him, but it's something, I guess. But now we're closing in on 13 laps to go, and Bobo Jones now facing pressure from Christian Vargas, who's moved up to 7th. He's got a push from Anderson Reed behind him. And back up at the front, 3 rookies continue to try and chase down McDonald and Carter. Unless something major happens by the end of this race, it might just be these 2 red and black cars fighting it out for the win.
I think it could be the case, and I think right now they seem content to ride it out for a little while. But as the laps tick down, I know Emma's going to want to do something about this 12.
No doubt about it. We've got 12 laps to go, and they've still not lapped Devin Fair yet. That 51, it's got good speed. He just lost out in the draft. But here comes Bobo Jones back around Dylan Young to reclaim a spot in the top 5. Hall is underneath Lattimore for 3rd. And here comes Emma Carter with a huge head of steam. Let's see if she can make it stick.
Yeah, she had a head of steam, but she didn't do much with it. I think she's just biding her time just a little bit. Maybe recognizes she doesn't quite have what it takes at this point, but knows that the laps are winding down and needs to make a move as she takes a peek once again.
Yep, here she comes, but McDonald's got an answer for her. We're coming to 10 laps to go this time, and at this point, with the rest of the field 2.7 seconds off the lead, this is going to be a battle between McDonald and Carter for the win, and that's got to hurt for Bobo Jones. He had such a dominant car today, not going to have a win to show for it.
Yeah, that's heartbreak for you right there. It happens, but it happens unfortunately. But eventually, heartbreak turns into joy. But doesn't look like it's going to be that way for Jones today.
Yeah, it's good. There's always next time for him, but man, was he good today. It's good. That's gonna live with him for a while. But we're in the final 10 laps now, and Ben McDonald, he's trying to give Venta Motorsport their third win in 4 races this season, something we have not seen I don't think ever, by a single team to start the season. An incredible stretch, but he's still got to hold off Emma Carter. Plus, well, probably not these guys. They've fallen way off. They're now 3.4 seconds off the lead. You can't even see him on the screen anymore. So it's up to Ben McDonald. If he can hold off Emma Carter for just this bit more, he'll be a race winner at Atlanta.
Yeah, that would mean, like we talked about earlier, he'll get to join his teammate as a winner of this season early on, which he wants that. He saw what McMillan was able to do, and he wants to join in.
Yeah, McDonald, he was disappointed after his home race at Auto Club. The one race this year he didn't do well in, but he's done fantastically at all the other races, and that might include a win here today. We're about to find out because we're closing in on the end of this race. But Carter is just lurking back there, hoping for something to happen to this 12. But at this point in the race, I think a caution would do the race in for good.
Yeah, we're getting into the point of no return, and Carter washes up just a little bit, but not falling back. Okay, not so much now.
Yeah, Carter, that might have been her best chance gone, because now she's well behind Ben McDonald at this stage of the race. So McDonald's doing everything he can to hold off Emma Carter, and he's forced her into a mistake. That could be the difference right there, as we have 6 laps to go.
It could be, but we saw Jones was able to rebound just a little bit, but not by much. But it was definitely be able to take back a spot or two that he lost earlier after his own wall ride. As we see Aaron Hall here doing a good job in third.
He's now the lead rookie of the race, ahead of Chris Lattimore. But man, McDonald's just doing a good job of keeping everything in check. Emma Carter's now 0.7 of a second behind him. We'll see if that's grown any at the line. It's grown by about 1.5. McDonald's just cruising out in front right now. He just needs to avoid a mistake. If he can do that, in 5 laps time, he'll be a winner.
Yeah, he wants that. He wants that bad, and he doesn't feel as much pressure from the 70 now as like we talked about. Carter's slipped back since her wall ride, but honestly, even if she can't get up there and win, I think second would be a good day for her.
Absolutely, it will. And here's a battle for the final spot in the top 5. Bobo Jones and Dylan Young. They've probably been the 2 best cars here, but they've just fallen victim to bad circumstances. And now they're just fighting for the scraps at this point. But if they keep fighting about this, Anderson Reed's going to close right in. And that is still a fantastic effort from that 5 car, making their first start in the Superstar Series. Incredible outing.
Yeah, it is. And, of course, Lattimore, once again, we keep praising him, but seems like that number on that car is not as unlucky as the stereotypes seem to believe. And we noticed Emma Carter has closed back in just a little bit on the 12 there.
Definitely. So, as we have 3 laps to go now, we focus now back on the lead. Emma Carter's starting to close back in, but I think it might be a little too late at this stage of the race, because we only have about 3 miles to go from Atlanta Motor Speedway, and Carter needs to reel in McDonald at a rapid rate. She needs to keep gaining 0.3 a lap if she's going to catch him in time.
And now we're down to 2 to go. This could be interesting if she can actually get it done.
It's a battle between McDonald and Carter for this race win. Devon Fair is not going to be a factor. White flag in the air. We got one more lap to go.
And she's giving it all she's got. She's proving that wall ride didn't completely hurt her car, but it might just be too little too late. McDonald just hanging on tough.
Coming down the back straightaway for the final time in this race. Jake McMillan, Ben McDonald's teammate, has won 2 of the first 3 races of the season. Now it's the 12 cars' turn to put both Fenton Motorsport cars in victory lane in the first 4 races. An incredible feat. McDonald off of turn 4 for the final time. He's going to taste the champagne in victory lane here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. McDonald gets his 5th career win here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. An incredible drive. Emma Carter comes up just 0.2 of a second short at the end, but still a great drive from her after a midfield starting spot. Aaron Hall follows his teammate home in 3rd, ahead of Chris Lattimore, gets an impressive 4th place finish. Far and away his best result so far. And Bobo Jones, after dominating the race, he'll round out the top 5, just ahead of Anderson Reed. Another great drive from the young Anderson Reed in 6th. Nick Ortiz, another strong run for him in 7th. Polanski 8th. Dylan Young, he'll be your new championship leader in 9th. And Daniel Bouchard snuck his way into the top 10 at the very last moment. But this was a race of comers and goers. We had Bobo Jones out in front for a while. Dylan Young was always there. But in the end, came down to McDonald and Carter, and the 12 won out.
Yeah, he's happy. The whole team's happy. I'm sure McMillan's going to be happy for him. Emma Carter's got reasons to be happy. A lot of drivers reasons to be happy. Some not so happy, and we move on from here.
That we do. We move on to our first road course of the season, and boy, will it be a fun one. The 6.2 miles of the Temple of Speed itself in Monza. That is going to be an incredible trip for 20 laps around that place. So look forward to that as much as we are. It's going to be an absolute blast from here on out. So, from James Ellison and from myself as well, we say goodbye from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll see you again across the sea at Monza. But for now, Ben McDonald's got to be soaking it all in. He is your race winner today after a furious charge from Emma Carter came up just a little bit short.